What's going on, everybody? Today is Wednesday, October 17th, 2012. Again, my name is Kevin Sixen Carlino, and this is episode number 5 of my Blizzard All-Stars Informational Series. Now, today's episode is going to be all about the Regeneration Globe mechanic, as well as any creep that you're going to be facing off against in Blizzard All-Stars. Now, as far as creep go, they're going to be very similar to any action RTS creep in that they're unremarkable, they're expendable, they're meant to make you as a hero feel more superior than they. Essentially, they're here to be cannon fodder. And this actually falls in line with one of Blizzard's main ideals for Blizzard All-Stars in that they want to fix the fantasy. Again, they want you as a hero to feel badass and epic, and again, just have these little army dudes just be cannon fodder. However, creep in an action RTS game add a pretty important element, and that's an intuitive battle line. If you think about it, in a game like even Dota, you're not, for the most part, really going to be bobbing and weaving throughout the lane, simply because you don't want to get spotted by the creep. You really can't tank the creep very much. So, I mean, you still have to be careful. So what does this do? Again, it adds a battle line for your current matchup. Now, obviously, the battle line is going to be very dynamic, depending on how close or far your lane is pushed. In essence, where the creep are in that particular lane, seeing as how there's 3, at least in Dota. Again, Blizzard All-Stars, we're not entirely sure. They may change up the number of lanes per map, sorry. But regardless, it adds an intuitive battle line. And what does a battle line do for you? It gives you map control. So the further along your lane is pushed, the more map control you have. And what does map control do for you? Well, it allows you a couple of different options, as well as giving you some pretty important intelligence. It allows you to know where your heroes are, where they potentially can be. It also, like I said, gives you some options. So you can either farm the jungle, you can go kill Roshan in a game like Dota, or you can simply try and end the game quick and push right up into their base. So again, having map control is obviously important, and this all stems from the idea of having intuitive battle lines. So again, Blizzard looked into this, and they sat down and said, okay, how can we make this even more intuitive? So they added this Regeneration Globe mechanic. Now, the Regeneration Globe works very similar to how health globes work in Diablo 3. The only difference here being that I'm calling them Regeneration Globes for a reason. They don't just regenerate your health, they regenerate both health and mana. So why don't we take a look at a nice little gameplay video that Blizzard's given us to check out the system. So as you can see here, Thrall is auto-attacking the creep, and for a good reason. I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. So they killed a couple of melee creep, and now they're killing this ranged creep with a flag on him. This is the important thing, and there it goes. He picks up the little regeneration globe on the ground. So again, that was the important part of this video. So there's a couple of things I want to point out. He was auto-attacking, again, because technically denying and last hitting was removed from the game, but I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. The other thing was that melee creep actually granted more gold and experience than a ranged creep did. I'm assuming because it has more health and probably does a little bit more attack. And the third thing is that there's a flag bearer creep that comes along with every creep wave. Now essentially what that is it's just a ranged creep that has a flag on his model, and this flag bearer is going to 100% of the time drop a regeneration globe, and again, like I said, regeneration globes grant you both health and mana. So how does this help the battle line? What this does, and actually how does this bring back, technically, denying and last hitting? What this does is, well, let's say that you're in a battle. Let's, nice little example. Let's say you're having a fight. Somebody comes and helps. It's a 2-on-2. You're fighting past their creep wave. So you got your creep wave, you got their creep wave, and then you're having a fight here. Okay. So for some reason you guys are dying. So you decide to back up a little bit. You see a flag bearer is about to die. So you run by, you pick up the health globe or regeneration globe, and you start fighting again. What does this do for you? It gives you more health, and it gives you more mana. So it gives you more survivability, and also allows you to do more DPS because you're able to now spam more spells. So again, this is certainly a battle line because you're going to want to try and fight as close to this line as possible without, kind of backdooring, if you will. Again, because these health or regeneration globes, I got to keep saying that, regeneration globes are very important to actual hero battles. Now, how does this affect denying and last hitting? I know earlier, in a couple episodes ago, I mentioned that technically denying and last hitting are gone. In all, intents and purposes, they are. However, I'm going to point out that it's temporarily kind of sort of been moved elsewhere. Instead of being attack-based, it's now technically positional-based or movement-based. So instead of trying to get last hitting, get the last hit on a creep or denying your own creep for a gold advantage in the early game, what you're doing now is you're going to try and get the last hit, if you will. Last hit's a terrible word for it, but it makes my point. You're going to want to pick up their health globes, and you're going to want to deny your own by picking them up yourself. So again, instead of giving you an early gold-based advantage, you're going to be getting an early battle-based advantage. So by being aggressive, you're being rewarded through this regeneration globe system. So again, what does this do? It encourages early team-based aggression. So that's one of Blizzard's main fundamentals for All-Stars. Keep that in mind. So this regeneration globe really falls in perfectly with that. And again, it certainly adds strategy because I know I said technically denying last inning we're out, but it's just sort of kind of been moved elsewhere. Again, from attack-based to movement-based. Now, the last thing I wanted to touch on was the fact that there are 3 technically different kinds of creep in the game. Obviously, we saw 2 of them in the video that I just showed off a little while ago, in that, you know, we've got a melee creep, we've got a ranged creep, and then, you know, the flag bearer creep is just a ranged creep with a flag on him, so he's nothing special. The 3rd kind of creep is going to be a mega creep, and these were in Dota back in the day. If you guys remember super creep, Blizzard hasn't given any extra information on these mega creep other than they're going to be in the game. So I just wanted to point that out. I suppose take it with a grain of salt because they might have removed it. We haven't heard anything about it, but definitely just wanted to point it out for the sake of having, you know, a nice informational here. So otherwise, that's going to wrap things up for today's video. If you guys think this is a cool system, again, regeneration globe system, let me know in the comments below. If you don't, what do you think would be better in place of this? Also, definitely like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like the series, and definitely follow me on Twitter at Sixen. Otherwise, again, that's going to wrap up today's video. Next week's video, I believe, is going to be on the tower mechanic. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.